Well, that sucked. Let me explain what happened. So Monday night, I wake up with some flank pain. It wasn't too bad. I just chalked it up to dehydration, got some water in me, and fell back asleep. Tuesday, I felt fine. Did my normal routine, shooting videos, doing the daily edits. But Tuesday night, as I was watching TV, that flank pain came back with a serious vengeance. So I did make it through Wednesday, not much better, and Thursday when I woke up, I still had the pain, so I decided it was time to go to Instacare. When my doctor walked back into the room, he just said, "Hey, you're golden. Your blood and your urine came back negative, so I'm pretty sure you just passed a kidney stone." Now, if you're ever lucky enough to have the absolute pure joy that is essentially pushing a pineapple through your urethra, may I give you some advice? Apply heat to that area. So I went to Walgreens Tuesday night and I picked this up. It's a heating pad, but there's a huge problem with this. I mean, it's just this big. It's got a really small footprint. And if it was just my back, that'd be great. But I ended up also getting like chills. And so even though this took care of the heating area to my flank, it did nothing for the rest of my body. And that's why this bed came in clutch. That's right, this bed came in clutch. This is my 8 sleep bed, and it can cool down or heat up depending on what you need. So not only did my kidneys get the relief they need, but the rest of my body did as well. And despite the circumstances, because I was able to lie in this bed and dial in the exact level of warmth that I wanted, I was able to still wake up with an 89% recovery. Now this 8 sleep bed is absolutely amazing. It's the Tesla of beds, as my buddy Shervin calls it. And just FYI, this is not a sponsored video. 8 Sleep did not pay me to say this. However, they did send me the bed to try out. Now, I've been using this 8 Sleep bed for a little over a month. However, there's one more caveat. It's not my main bed. Me and my wife share a bed upstairs. This is in the guest bedroom. So I've been coming down here once or twice a week to, test it out. So I'll give you a much more thorough review in, let's say, like 3 to 6 months time when I've had more experience with the bed. But overall, I just wanted to share with you a quick couple of pros and cons, and maybe even some factors that I wouldn't consider a pro or a con, but would probably be a factor in whether or not you bought one. Since this bed is like the Tesla of beds, like Tesla, this bed is extremely software driven. You do everything from an app. And to take advantage of all the features that it offers, you're going to need Wi-Fi. And if you saw the first video that I posted, you noticed that I ran into some connectivity issues. Essentially, I got to a point in the setup where the Pod Pro needs to be next to the router so that it can connect. This thing requires Wi-Fi. I don't know how you feel about that. Try moving your router closer to your hub. I can't. Because I can't connect the Wi-Fi, for some reason, even though the Wi-Fi is just in the next room, it's not letting me continue. I didn't realize at the time, and this is my mistake, that I could unplug the Pod Pro from the bed, bring it right next to the router for the initial setup. Once I got that initial pairing done and moved it back into the bedroom and hooked it up to the bed, I didn't have any more connectivity issues. But just be aware that there's no physical buttons on the Pod Pro to change the temperature. It is still just a bed, so you don't have to use those features. But if you want to take advantage of all of them, and there are a lot, you really do need Wi-Fi. And so if you don't have Wi-Fi, this bed just might not be a good fit for you. Now this is kind of a paradox, right? Because you're getting this bed to help you sleep better. We know how critical sleep is for our health and our productivity, our mental health, you name it. And this bed is designed to give you the best night's sleep possible. However, if you're lying in bed and you need to change settings for whatever reason, well then you're going to be exposing yourself to blue light. And we know that blue light is emitted from the sun, and that's basically like your internal clock saying, hey, wake up, go do things. So therein lies the problem. You're in bed to fall asleep, and the bed was designed to help you sleep better, but you have to use an interface that keeps you up. You could, however, switch your phone over to night mode, which doesn't use as much blue light if your phone offers that. But it's something, again, you should be aware of. My favorite feature, bar none, of this bed is the temperature control. And if you've seen some of my past videos, I've used another company called Chili Sleep, which does the same thing. However, what I've noticed from 8 Sleep is that it achieves whatever temperature you want so much faster. So whether you want it super cold or super warm, once you dial that in, it's going to reach that temperature quite quickly. Here's the temperature control wheel, and it's super easy. All I got to do is move my finger around this wheel and it'll change the temperature. If I don't want a temperature control, let's say we have a guest in the house that's going to use the bed, all I got to do is power it off and turn it off, which is also really nice. You guys know how much I love my Whoop for recording my sleep and seeing all of the cool little details that I would have never really thought about if I didn't have it. Well, the 8 Sleep does it too. It actually monitors sleep from the bed. Your first score is your sleep fitness score, and if you click on that score, it's going to give you a rundown of what factors make up sleep fitness. Time slept, wake up time consistency, time to fall asleep, time to get out of bed. And each factor has a different weight and calculation. Then I can scroll down and see exactly how long I slept, my wake up consistency, etc. But it also gives me my sleep stages and how long I was in each one of those stages for. It will actually tell me how many tosses and turns I had, my sleeping heart rate. So it gives me my average, but also my low point. And it will also share with me my heart rate variability. And when I checked these numbers against my Whoop, they were incredibly accurate. 8 Sleep also offers sleep tools, which is like a set of things that really don't have to do with your bed, but maybe habits or practices that could lead to better sleeping routines. So they've got a guided meditation, they've got a guided breathing exercise, different sounds you could listen to in bed, and then also a pre-bed and post-wake up exercise routine. Once you hit start, it's actually going to give you a video that you can follow along and work out to. And most of these workouts are only 4 or 5 minutes, so they're not a huge commitment, which is perfect for pre-bedtime or post-wake up. In Listen, you've got a bunch of different types of background and ambient music that you can listen to. You've got river flows, city rainstorms, rain and thunder. If you click on one and hit play, it's awesome. I love listening to this stuff, so I use this all the time. One of the cool features is that it can play in the background while you do other things. So if you wanted to listen to the rain and thunder while you were doing the yoga, you could. You could also listen to it during the breathe section. That's what we're going to go over now. So this is like a guided breathing meditation. When you hit start, it's got a bunch of circles that kind of line up, and they either collapse for the exhale or expand for the inhale. And it kind of guides you through that. Inhale through your nose. You're going to see those rings expand, and then it's going to tell you to hold your breath, and you can see this line go around, and then it's going to tell you to exhale, and those will slowly start to shrink and close up. And so it goes through a process, and that is perfect for pre-bedtime. Finally, here are 2 factors that will probably influence your buying decision, but I wouldn't lump them into something like con or pro because they're quite subjective. That bed is quite firm, and if you're a side sleeper, it might take some getting used to. But if you sleep on your back, this bed is heaven. I believe for the queen bed that we have, it is around $34.95 for the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, and that is the thing that does all of the temperature regulation plus the bed. However, I would challenge you to not think of this as just a mattress, because you can't really compare it to just a mattress. It does so much more than that. And if you're starting to compare it to other mattresses from the stuff that I've seen that's kind of similar, this is extremely well priced. Like I said, I've only had this for 30 days. I've got to do a whole lot more testing, and if you want to see those follow-up videos, make sure you're subscribed. There are features like autopilot that I don't have yet because I simply haven't spent enough time in the bed for it to know me. It's kind of like with Whoop. You can kind of get like personalized assessments after a certain amount of days being used consistently in a row, and I think it's 30. 8 Sleep has something similar called autopilot, and once I achieve that, I'll definitely give you a better rundown of what that is. You can also go check out my friend Shervin's video on the 8 Sleep and autopilot. He did an excellent job. I will link that right up here. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Obviously, it tells me what kind of videos you want to see more of. But more importantly, it goes a really long way with the YouTube algorithm. YouTube is huge, and hitting the like button just makes this video much easier to find by people just like you. I know this was a quick, short and dirty, the pros and cons of the 8 Sleep bed after 30 days, but I hope you enjoyed it. I have to go pick up Mr. Henry now, so I'll catch you later. Peace. Did you have fun at doggy daycare? Did you have a good time? I think he had a good time. He was super excited.